Hi, Corey. Would you say that the teachings in the book also apply to dating homosexual feminine men? Wait.
Yep, absolutely. I have a lot of gay clients. Typically most of the time I'm talking to the masculine guy, the masculine essence. Same thing with the trans clients, or it's usually the masculine one. My lesbian clients, it's usually the masculine one. And so I believe that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're a soul that is incarnated into a particular body. And if you look at the second line of the Declaration of Independence, our whole constitutional republic, now we just had a election that happens every 4 years for the president. It's based on the premise that we are here at the pleasure of the Creator. And our Creator, it doesn't matter whether you believe in one or not, or you're an atheist, or you're a Muslim or a Christian, or an Amish, doesn't matter. It's assumed there's a Creator, and so the whole country is based on the premise that you're here at the pleasure of the Creator. And so you're entitled because the Creator granted you certain unalienable rights. And the unalienable rights are life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. So you own your body, you're entitled to your life, you're entitled to the pursuit of happiness. And so this all includes our natural rights. Natural right is self-defense. Law of the jungle. If somebody bigger or meaner or stronger or whatever is trying to attack you or harm you or take from you or do things to you that you don't want done to you, you have every right to shoot them in the face, basically, and end the attack. And so what that means is we are individuals, and a creator has put us here. And so therefore the state, the government, man, nobody can interfere with that relationship. And so since the creator put you here, obviously it's got to be an intelligent design. The creator doesn't make mistakes after all. And so if you're a soul in a body, you're here at the behest of the creator. And so that also should imply that there's no mistakes. So this shit about, hey, you're born in the wrong body, it's like God doesn't make mistakes. And I believe we choose our parents. I believe we incarnate over and over with groups of souls that we've incarnated with in the past. Sometimes in one life you might be a male, the next life you might be a female. It's all about the journey of the soul. You do bad things. If you're the killer in one life and you're a bad person, in the next life you'll be that innocent person that gets harmed badly. You'll be living out your karma, and you choose that willingly. When you disincarnate, you die, your life ends. You replay your life, you see where you fucked up, and you're like, well, I did all these bad things in this part, so I got to go be a victim at some future incarnation, and bad things will be done to me, and you voluntarily sign up for that. So again, you're in a particular body. You knew what your plumbing was going to be before you got here. You chose your parents. You chose the people that you were going to meet along your journey. So there are no accidents. Things are meant to be this way. And so the whole country is built on that premise. And what was the original question again?
If your book works for homosexual feminine men.
Oh, so then that would mean that, one of the things that was interesting is, like Edgar Casey talked about in his readings, is that if somebody was a woman in a past life, they were sexually attracted to men, obviously. But if that soul decided to reincarnate too soon, whether on purpose or by accident or impatience or whatever, then there's too much of the previous life's essence left over. So if you were a woman in a past life that was attracted to men and then you reincarnated too soon before your essence kind of balanced out, and then the next life you were a man, then you'd still be attracted to men because there's too much of the feminine essence from your past life. But if maybe you did bad things to gay people or a certain gender or whatever, well, then in a future life at some point, you're going to experience the opposite. You're going to experience your karma. So if you weren't nice to gay people in a past life or homosexual men, you reincarnate too soon in your next life on purpose. So you experience, now you're incarnating as in a male body that's still attracted to male bodies or masculine essence. And so therefore you get to experience the hate, the rejection, the the bad things that, in other words, you experience the total karma of what Jesus said, whatever you do on to the least of you, you do unto me. What you do unto others, you do unto yourself. I believe that's what he meant, whether it's in this life or a future life. So you do bad things to gay people, and you abuse gay people in one life, the next life, you're a gay person that gets abused. And that's how the soul kind of balances out its karma. It's like that's what you sign up for. You don't really have an awareness when you're incarnated in the body or the container, as the aliens refer to us, our bodies as. Um, and so it's a purpose. We're here just to smooth out our rough edges over and over, and that's why when you meet certain people, you feel like you've known them forever. It's like because you literally have. You've had probably many incarnations and many lives in the past together, and so if a gay man, I mean, there's always a top and always a bottom. There's there's always a pitcher and always a catcher. Just doesn't matter what the plumbing is. The essence is, the masculine essence is attracted to the feminine essence across the board. Masculine lesbians are attracted to feminine lesbians. And masculine gay men are attracted to very effeminate and girly gay men, and vice versa. That's so when I'm coaching somebody and they're telling me they're gay or they're lesbian or they're trans or whatever, it's like, well, what is your dominant essence? Is always like the first question. It's like, what do you most identify with? What do you most feel like you are? Are you more masculine or are you more feminine? Are you the top or are you the bottom? And based on what they tell me is, if you're masculine, a true masculine essence, you're going to act exactly the way a heterosexual dude is going to act in the book. And it works magically. I have lesbians that are like, I haven't had sex with my wife or my girlfriend in a year. And they act too girlish. They act too much like a chick, even though they are a chick. But they're a masculine essence that, because they are in a female body, but they feel masculine. And so when they act too girlish, they're attracted to the feminine woman. They turn the feminine lesbian off in the same way that the heterosexual man turns the feminine woman off when he acts too much like a beta male. And so when they tell me, whether it's a lesbian or a gay dude, what they're doing, what they're saying, I can point out their behavior and why it's unattractive to their partner and what kind of behavior they have to display and bring to that relationship to rebalance the sexual polarity. And like, we haven't had sex in a year, and then we fuck 4 times this weekend after one phone session, just because I teach them what behaviors to exhibit. And a lot of times it's just making a date and getting a babysitter for the kids or whatever, or getting dinner reservations and telling their girl how to dress and what they're going to do and just making this shit happen instead of going, what do you want to do tonight? It's like the same things that piss off the feminine lesbian pisses off the heterosexual woman when their partner acts weak and indecisive and unsure of themselves. Even though they're a girl, I teach them how to act like a man because they're the dominant one. If they don't act dominant, their partner gets totally turned off and unattracted.
So what if the feminine came to you for advice?
I teach her how to be more effeminate and girly and focus on those behaviors. And if they act too boss girl, then they're going to turn off their partner.
Because boss girl's masculine.
Yes.
Need a lipstick.
Because the alpha doesn't want to compete. Want to put you in your place, and because sex is, for the woman, is feminine. It's the ultimate act of submission. You just let go and you let a man do whatever the fuck he wants to you. So you submit emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So it's a soul thing that's happening, and it's in the Constitution. And so you're not allowed to interfere with that. And so that also means that your children are here at the behest of the Creator. And so that's why the state is not allowed to interfere in that relationship, even though the leftists, the collectivists, believes that the state has a superior right to intervene in between the parent and the child. That it takes a village sounds nice, but that's, as Hillary Clinton always liked to say, but at the end of the day, this particular group of souls incarnated together because, again, it's the Lord's pleasure. And the state and other men cannot get in the way with it. And if they try to, they can get shot in the face. That's what that means. So we're all individuals. We're all equal. Everybody that's in government, the president, at the end of the day, he's not my king. I'm not his fucking slave. I'm not his servant. He's a fucking clerk. Your job is to run the government. If you're the president of the United States, your job, for the most part, is to deal with foreign affairs. Because we live in the country of Florida. We're a democratic constitutional republic of 50 individual countries. So we live in the country of Florida. And Governor Ron DeSantis is the president of the country of Florida. And so, like all this abortion stuff that was in the election, the reason why the Supreme Court says, hey, this is not a federal government issue, because the way the Constitution is written, it means that if the rights are not given to the federal government in the Constitution, if they're not specifically spelled out, if the Constitution doesn't say abortion is the purview of the federal government, then if it's vague and wasn't discussed, then that particular right and the decision of how that right is going to be given or handled with the people belongs to the individual states. Because the idea was that you were trying to limit the power of the federal government, because liberty exists in the distribution of power. So that's why we have the electoral college. It's because we have 50 countries. It doesn't matter. The population size doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that California has most of the population. They're one country out of 50 in our democratic constitutional republic. And so therefore, that's why they have 2 senators, and like Wyoming or Oklahoma, they have 2 senators because it's a country. But your congressional seats are based upon population. And so the idea was to prevent one very populous state or country in other words, to prevent California from deciding the politics and the governance structure and the rules for the whole rest of the other 49 states. And so therefore, that's what the Supreme Court did. They didn't ban abortion. They just said, we don't have any standing to rule in this one way or another. The individual states need to decide what their abortion laws are. So, because California collectively as a people might want more extreme, and they do, abortion laws than those of us that live in Florida. And so Californians don't get to tell us Floridians how to fucking live because they're thousands of miles away from us. So the whole thing is set up to protect the individual because God put you here. And for whatever reason, that's between you and the Creator. And all the Constitution does is acknowledge that right and that truth and that pre-existing condition. It doesn't grant it to you. It just says this exists. And the government is restrained by the Constitution, not the people.